here on KM Activities, your home for the Comets, as the Casa Manorville Comets boys soccer team is hosting Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa tonight. The Wildcats come in with a record of 5-2. They're 2-0 in the Hiawatha Valley, and Casa Manorville comes in with a 1-5-1 record, and they are 0-2 in the conference. Head coach is Sean Brummelkamp, and we're going to get right to Coach as he provided us a nice interview. I'm Joel McCall. I'll be your play-by-play man for tonight. We want to thank KM Telecom for being our major sponsor for high school fall sports here on KM Activities as we get ready for boys soccer. And Coach Brummelkamp did talk to me just a while ago, and we'll get to that interview right now. Back here on our warm-up show on KM Activities, your home for the Comets, as we're getting set for a Casa Manorville boys soccer matchup, as it is the Comets hosting then Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa, and they are known as the Wildcats. I was a little confused on that, but Coach Brommelkamp's with us now, and he can talk all about Saturday. First of all, Coach, I'd like to go back to Saturday. An 11-0 win for you guys over Cotter. I mean, I was here watching a lot of it, some of it in the concession stands, some of it in the stands. I was very impressed. I thought you guys really came out and played well.
Thank you. Yeah, it was nice to have one of those games after, a few games that could have gone our way that didn't so far this year. It was nice to get one where we had a chance to put in a few goals here and there and work on some of the stuff that we needed to, and it was a great result for sure.
Yeah, and I think overall on that offensive side, you guys were just able to control. And I'm sure you were going back and even probably looking at some of that film going, boy, if we could keep our passing going like this, where we're getting that string of 3-4 in a row.
Yeah, I told them at the end of the game, asked them, did it feel good to get that sort of a win? And they said yes. And then I said, did it feel like the game was moving a little bit slower than usual? And they said yes. And I said, well, maybe this is the way that this game went, but even against further teams down the road, we can slow the game down against tough teams still, and we can still try to control things if we remember what we're doing in practice. And that's still something that we're capable of doing. We just need to not rush and panic out there if the ball's in a sticky situation.
Yeah, kind of
put together those passes.
Yeah, as you said, slow the game down a little bit. I think that's really important for you. Well, I know it's been a while since I've seen you. It's been a few weeks since I saw a Comets boys soccer match. Overall, I know that the wins record isn't quite what you'd want at wins losses. I know that you mentioned that there was kind of a disappointment at Cannon Falls.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I mean, at least you're seeing some improvement on the field. We saw it Saturday. Have you been seeing it before that?
I feel like in practice we always are, and that's kind of why I felt as though Cannon Falls was a disappointing game, because I really felt like we worked on a bunch of things in practice. We seemed focused. We seemed to be putting things together, and I felt good about where we were going. And then Cannon Falls was a 5-0 loss for us, and actually 3 of those 5 goals came in the first 5 minutes of the game, and it really seemed like we were down in the dumps after that. I could see that game if we played again having a different result, or at least a different score. And I do think we were putting things together, and Cannon Falls is a letdown, and Winona Cotter is something that I think is hopefully going to give us some confidence moving forward.
Well, this is a solid ball club that comes in here today. 5-2 is their record. You know, they're fighting and competing at that top spot for the Hiawatha Valley too. So tell me a little bit about the Wildcats. I know this is an important one for you.
Well, yeah, I would definitely say so. It's the team that I played for when I played high school for the PIZM Wildcats, and during my student teaching experience, I was an assistant coach for the Wildcats, and I taught at Pine Island, and I definitely know the coaching staff there, and we're a close knit. So yeah, it's a game that I definitely had circled on my calendar from the very beginning. They're a tough team. They're a fast team and a well-disciplined team, and it's going to be a good challenge for us. But I know that if we do keep working and we actually execute on those things that I'm talking about in practice and we're working on, I think we've got the chance to beat a good team, and hopefully that's what happens tonight.
Well, one thing that I had noticed, and we had talked about it before too, was kind of that number 1 kid for the opponent had gone off on you a couple times, getting 2 or 3. And I noticed that in the Wildcats stats, they did have a kid that was going off for 2 or 3 at a time. It was Zuit, I believe is how you say his name. I haven't got that quite pronouncer yet from the coaching staff from Pine Island, PIZM as you called him. But I mean, he's had 2 or 3. I think you really got to keep a body on him, Coach, and make sure that he doesn't get freed up.
I'd say so there. it's not something that we had into the very beginning of our season because the seasons are so short. Unfortunately, we only had about a week of practice before our first game. But as we moved on, we've worked on how we would defensively bracket a strong player, or even if it's not necessarily an extremely skilled player, just a smart player that knows where to be at which times, and they're working to their advantages. So we're working on we've got a number of defensive possibilities if that's something that we think we need to execute in a game, and hopefully we're able to take away some of their top playmakers and equalize the game and put together in a few goals of ourselves and get the win at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's kind of really where I was going next, was how about keys to the victory then? We've already hit on that, stopping their main. How about other keys for you, Coach?
Well, I think we've if we can stop their main player or stop their main game plan. Sometimes it's not always just a player.
True.
They might have a really good strategy in place against our defensive formation, or if we've got 4 defenders back there or 3 in a defensive mid, or however that might be. Other coaches at this varsity level and other players at this varsity level are really smart, and they can take advantage of that. So if we're able to adjust and take away those advantages that they might be able to have, I think we've got a chance. If we go from our defense and send the ball forward and try to set up our offense early, I think that's going to give us a few fast opportunities, and if things go our way again. It's a game that anything can happen, and soccer usually does have something happen where anything can happen at the very end.
Yeah, very true. As you said, quick start. I'm with you on that as well. We wish the Comets best of luck. Sean Brommelkamp, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, we'll come back here in just a second on our warm-up show and get you set. We'll run through the starters of the Wildcats and the Comets here on KM Activities, your home for the Comets.
Hey, if you're a parent, you get it. The whole family stays in high gear during the school year, from sports to concerts to grades. High school demands high speed. At home, your internet also needs to meet the high demands of your family. Smart TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Sometimes all running at once. Maybe it's time to upgrade to a faster internet plan. Upgrade your high-speed internet with KM Telecom. Give us a call today and find out more. 634-2511. 634-2511.
This Casson Mantorville sports broadcast is brought to you in part by McKern Financial in Casson and the Casson Mantorville School District. We thank these proud sponsors for bringing you all the fall sports action right here on KM Activities YouTube channel. McKern Financial and the KM schools cheer on the Comets and wish them a successful fall season.
Is your internet speed meeting your family needs? Times have really changed. Most families are running smart TVs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, often all at one time. With so many devices in constant use at home, maybe it's time to switch to high-speed internet from KM Telecom. Right now, you can sign up by September 30th and get your installation and first month absolutely free. Free installation and first month free. Call KM Telecom today for more information. 634-2511. 634-2511.
Casson Mantorville Comets is going to be taking on the Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa Wildcats in a Hiawatha Valley Conference matchup here on KM Activities. Comets 1-5 and 1, 0-2 in the conference. Pine Island, the Wildcats, Zumbrota Mazeppa, PIZM as they've been called too. They are 5-2 and 2-0 in the conference. Rafal Koenig is the head coach for the Wildcats. And then Coach Brommelkamp, we thank him, Sean Brommelkamp, for providing our interview. Casson Mantorville will get the ball first, and they will move right to left on your screen. I'll be providing a couple of things here tonight, play-by-play as well as camera work for you. So if I do get a little slowed down, bear with me. Jack Smothers trying to attack in. Still has possession for Pine Island. PIZM blocked out of there by the Comets. Now setting up for one and driving it high is Daniel Career. And let's go through the starters then, as Casson Mantorville will have a defensive kick out. Brian Hansen, a senior, he's one of them. He just had that kick. Comes up and played up nicely by Perdomo. Perdomo is the leader for the Comets. As far as goals, he does have 5. Comets coming off that 11-0 win over Cotter on Saturday. So a little bit more confidence coming into this young squad of Comets. Salivar had a touch there for a moment, pardon me. And now coming to this near side, and a good run out for Ryan Darvo. Darvo, another starter, back into Perdomo, going to the corner, just a little too hard and out of bounds. So Brian Hansen, a senior, Jacob Goodman, a sophomore, Victor Rodriguez, then Zach Alexander, a sophomore, Ryan Darvo as a junior, Valdo Salivar, boy, I'm trying not to mess up his name tonight. Salivar, he's a senior. David Perdomo is a senior. Mason Scripture. And driving, ooh, and Perdomo had a shot there. Just goes wide. Actually, that was Rodriguez that had the shot for Casson Manorville. Mason Scripture, the freshman. Tim Schultz, freshman. Sam Anderson, who had a couple of goals the other night. He's a sophomore. And then Dalton Osgard is the goalie for Casson Manorville. Good stop there by Salivar. Logan Harney. The one kid that we mentioned for the Wildcats in that warm-up actually goes by Dan McHale. So I apologize for that. He was in on the hub as Suet, but then looked up and then on their official roster, he is just Dan McHale. But he leads them and has had 7 goals on the season, but was not a starter. This one goes from one end all the way to the other. Corey Peters is the goalie for the Wildcats. PIZM. Trying to battle is Zach Alexander. He does win that battle. Perdomo gets pushed down by Koenig. Brant Koenig, coach's son. There's a lot of ties here between Coach Brummelkamp as well as Pine Island's Zimrota Mazeppa, which kind of makes this a really unique and fun night for the coach. Driving one in, but comes all the way too far for Hansen. Picked up by Peters and another defensive kick. We've played 4 minutes. 36 remaining. First half, nothing the score. Casson Manorville had a shot. Oh, and over the head, look out. Alexander was trying to play it, coming this near side, Tim Schultz. That it will be stopped. Maybe a little too much pushing there. And the Wildcats will be able to set something up. Mark Quintero going to drive one for PIZM. He will, far side, but it's headed off nicely by Hansen. Far side. Over there is Mason Scripture. Salivar also trying to play a little bit for Casson Manorville. Instead, driven into the interior. And Dalton comes out with it. Osgard can play for him. As Creer couldn't play it. Sam Anderson trying to track it down. A header. Peters is way out of the box. Ball's still live. Sam will kick. Oh, blocked up front by the Wildcats. Good shot on that far side for Anderson. And a great opportunity as Peters come way out of the block to play that. Salivar with the kick towards the far side, right around the 20-yard line. Perdomo with the steal. Pushes ahead for Mason Scripture, but I think that went out. Actually, we have a player down, pardon me. And Perdomo is also down. So nothing to score here at KM Telecom Stadium. We have an injury timeout here with 34:48 left to go in the first half. Well, they'll check on the young man from PIZM. I never caught a number. Perdomo is still down 2, but we'll keep an eye on both. And we'll return here in just a moment on KM Activities. Your home for the Comets.
Hey, if you're a parent, you get it. The whole family stays in high gear during the school year, from sports to concerts to grades. High school demands high speed. At home, your internet also needs to meet the high demands of your family. Smart TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Sometimes all running at once. Maybe it's time to upgrade to a faster internet plan. Upgrade your high-speed internet with KM Telecom. Give us a call today and find out more. 634-2511. 634-2511.
Well, the young man for Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa did come off the field, and so did Perdomo. So everything seems to be okay between those two teams, and we're back to action. 34.5 minutes here in the first half. Good defensive play by Alexander in the middle, but now comes to this near side, and the Wildcats threaten with Cole Ayers. Stolen away by Tim Schultz for the Casamareville Comets. Blocked down on the pass. Scripture stays alive. Salivar trying to get over there to play, as is Ayers. Oh, no, pardon me, that is Chandler. Logan Chandler. Pine Island trying to take a shot. Osgard comes out of the box and picks it up. So PIZM threatens. Osgard with that. Driving all the way down. Victor Rodriguez, far side. That is saved over there in the far end, but then out of bounds off of Schmoll for the Wildcats. Casamareville, very quick throw in. Thrown in on that far side is Rodriguez fighting, and he'll get another throw in. But he'll throw it off to Scripture. Far end. Nothing. Light toss to Nels Karsten, who is subbed in for the first time. Go out and another throw in. That was blocked by a Wildcat up front. That would be Edie. Edie blocked that pass. Casamareville still trying to, oh, and that one off the cone. Still just a throw in. Blocked down after it had come out of the zone. Goodman. Good pass. Goodman trying to go to that far side. Scripture comes in to save. He still has possession over by the flag in the corner. Everybody battling there with Edie of Pine Island. And Casamareville still has a throw in. Have not been able to get a corner kick. And that's a good try there, far in by Goodman for Casamareville. But it does go out of bounds in the back. And another defensive kick coming up for Pine Island. Girls soccer, they went up to St. Paul today and won. They were on the road, won 2-1, as there is a lot of things going on. So they played St. Paul Academy, girls soccer did, and they won 2-1. Hopefully the Comet cross country team did a nice job today running their meet. Throwing it in, then Alexander. And then girls volleyball also going on tonight. That's inside Home Federal Arena as Byron coming to town to face the Comets. And they're probably just about ready to go. Their warm-up usually takes to about 7:15. So that first serve should be coming up shortly. Goodman passed it, but out of bounds, far in, thrown in by Edie of Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa. Nothing. We've played almost 9 minutes. Start with 40. We're at 31. Sanchez doing a good job fighting, or Rodriguez, pardon me. And Salivar gets a shot on goal from about 15 out. Peters picks it up. And he eyes Ayers over on this far end. That ball not knocked down, then was. Out of bounds and a throw in coming for Casamareville near side. Alexander finds Anderson. Ooh, missed Rodriguez on the pass though, and it comes back to midfield. Chipped ahead by Hanson. Possession Casamareville far end, looking over to Scripture. Scripture driving one towards the goal. Got it within the yellow box, but not the interior of the goalie. Scripture doing a great job over in that corner, trying to get something out of bounds and maybe a throw-in. Instead gets possession back for Casa Manorville, now driven out by Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa. Oh, that one knocked down on a head by Hutton. Anderson is up ahead, but he was offside. Got to stay around that 20-yard line. Anderson was just a little too far away and ahead. So the Wildcats will drive one far end. Chandler trying to play, goes out of bounds. So right back to Casa Manorville. 5-2 record for the Wildcats coming in. The Comets of Casa Manorville at 1-5-1, or 1-6-1 actually. They lost to Cannon Falls too. That was not updated. Good pass there by the Wildcats coming to this near side. Ayers frees one up. Oscar there for the play and picked it off the air. Oscar with a nice defensive play for Casa Manorville on a shot on goal from the Wildcats. So PIZM attacks. Casa Manorville does a good job keeping away. Good play there by Alexander. Can he get rewarded for it? He'll have to come back, play a spot. As the Wildcats continue to move it forward from left to right, Schmoll. But Goodman fighting with him. Rodriguez, he had a touch for a moment, and then this goes out of bounds off the pass from Edie. And another throw in for Casa Manorville, trying to get it off to Rodriguez over on that far side. Edie with Rodriguez. Rodriguez winning the battle for a moment. Casa Manorville still trying to chip one away. A shot, going to roll off, but that should be a corner kick. That looked like it was blocked, and it is. Going to be a corner kick. Ryan Darvaux turned to shoot one. And it was blocked up front. But now a corner kick and a great opportunity for Casa Manorville to try to get on the board. Driving one high and a little short, and it was headed out. By Quintero. Casa Manorville, though, still with possession. They drive another one. Peters is there for the scoop. 27.5 minutes left in the first half. And nothing our score. By the way, if you joined us last night for some high school volleyball, I can't tell you where that video went with Bloomington Jefferson. For some reason, it is gone off of our YouTube channel, even though last night I thought I did everything correctly to save it. Casa Manorville got a great 3-0 win up in Bloomington over Jefferson. A high kick by Hanson. Back over to the 50-yard line. 3 guys are there. Oh, and there's a foul on Salivar. Up ahead, Casa Manorville knocking that down with Tim Schultz. Comes all the way to the 40 and rolls out of bounds. Be a throw in for Harney. And we have lots of substitutions coming for Pine Island. Zumbrota Mazeppa. PIZM, as they're called short, with the throw-in coming for Harney then. PIZM works better than trying to get that mouthful out of Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa every time. That'll go off of number 3, Koenig. Should be a throw-in for Casa Manorville. It is. Oh, but then tipped and out for Darvaux. Throw-in coming for the Wildcats. Harney will come right back to do that. Trying to go towards the middle. Salivar with a good header. Anderson trying to make sure it rolled down. Rodriguez on the run. Can he get there before Hutton? Cannot. Rolls out of bounds. Throw back in. That was off the head of Darvaux, but then secured by Erdman. So the Wildcats made several changes Dan McKayo, who that was the kid that I was talking about earlier that has those 7 goals. He's in now. Nice sliding defensive play by Alexander. Goes out of bounds off of him. Koenig will be, well, no, he'll throw it off to Harney, who will have the throw in for PIZM. And now we'll get a foul this time on Alexander. A little bit too aggressive was a sophomore. Just under 25 minutes left in the first half. Still nothing. This will be a setup kick for Quintero. High, played over on the far end then. As the Wildcats still have possession. They're maintaining with Schmoll. Good defensive work over on the far side by Scripture. Gets it out of bounds. They will call a throw-in, though, for PIZM. Scripture over on that far side, still battling. That's out of bounds. Closing her in, and he'll be the thrower. I think that's actually set up for McKayo. A header, and in. Past Oscar's outreaching hand. And it will be a goal for Pine Island as they get on the board. I believe that was Isaac Schmoll with the goal. On the setup play for the Wildcats, they get the goal off of it. Casimirville had really... So Schmall gets the goal. Ethan Petersley in for the first time for Casimirville on the substitution. 1-0 lead for the Wildcats. They're trying to add to it. But Casimirville, for the most part of this, that was a great pass. And rolling up ahead, Rodriguez off of his body. But Casimirville has possession. They've been holding on to it as McKayo on the far end. Trying to drive in to the 10 and then got it stolen away. Good defensive work by Tim Schultz. Schultz with a pass up ahead, trying to clear it out. Is Casimirville. Wildcats still attempting their offense. Nels Karstensen had come in. Pass just going to be outstretched of Darvo. He couldn't quite make it. Harney to throw in again. Koenig over on the near side. Erdman falling over along with Alexander there. Still good defensive work for Casimirville. Giving up the goal, though, 1-0. They trail. Ooh, and a flat-out whiff by Erdman. A lot of battling there with Alexander. Kick towards the middle. Can't be a shot on goal, though, for Christofferson. Casimirville trying to get it out of there. Anderson couldn't quite play it. Comes towards the middle, and a great pass. Rodriguez trying to catch up to it. Casimirville trying to flip the field. Can't quite do it. As Quintero does gain possession, trying to go a give and go. And Casimirville with a great kick forward. Sam Anderson tracking it down. And so is Petersley, who had just subbed in. He's on that far end. Header towards the middle of field, Casimirville defensive side. Ooh, and kick out off of Darvo. Throw-in coming for PIZM. The Wildcats lead 1-0. 21 minutes is up on the clock here at KM Telecom Stadium. We thank KM Telecom for being our major sponsor here for fall activities on KM Activities, as well as McKern Financial and the KM School District for being our other two sponsors for soccer. Ball bouncing around offside. Tim Schultz was there to play some defense. I thought that's what they called. Instead, they're calling a set play for the Wildcats. Koenig is the one to put it together. This one going to sail. Oh, off the crossbar. Quintero was the one that tried to put it on net. Oscar did a good job, too. He remained in position and tried to stay as far back as he could, right in front of the net and the bars. Huge kick for Brian Hansen. Comes towards the 50. Rodriguez with a high pop fly. Salivar trying to get one through. Rodriguez looking on this near side for Darvo. Good stop by Goodman. Casimerville trying to be patient, not get offside. Rodriguez far end. Oh, and just off of Petersley. That'll be a throw in for PIZM. A chip comes to Darvo, a header. Looking for Anderson, who had 2 goals on Saturday. Casimerville has had a couple of shots on goal so far. Could not find the net. One set-up play for the Wildcats allows them to, and that one out of bounds. Off of Alexander. He made a hard collision with Erdman. Throwing it in is Hutton. Alexander driving one towards the 40, far side. Still, Casimerville having to play defense. It's on their defensive end. Ball gets pushed forward. Erdman on this near side. Looking around. And he might get one on goal now. Oscar there for the stop. Got the gloves down. Knocked it down. Made sure there was no follow-up either from Christofferson. High kick for Osgard. Played at the 50. But it's PIZM there with the ball. Pass up ahead, out of bounds, as Klossner could not make the play. Aiden Shea coming in for the first time tonight, the junior for Casa Manorville. He'll report in for Zach Alexander, who gets a nice round of applause from a good crowd tonight. The band was here too, had a wonderful rendition of the national anthem. And a big throw in for Casa Manorville trying to flip the field. It's Rodriguez, far side, that's been fighting, and they do get it out of bounds off of Quintero. A few more substitutions. Salivar out for Casa Manorville. There are about 3 changes for the Wildcats. Be number 24, Ethan Smith, to come in to play a little middle for Salivar. 17 minutes as the clock remains ticking. Here in the first half, 1-0. Pine Island got that goal by Anderson with a little float shot, looking for Darvo. Peters comes out of the block and picks it off before even a header attempt for Darvo. I like what Anderson was trying to do there, though. And Darvo having a battle right in front of me with Landon Chandler. And offside on the Wildcats. Casimerville can set it up and blast it out of there. And hopefully be able to flip the field. They need some possession time on that offensive end. Got a shot on goal there for Anderson, but need to be able to control it a little bit more and get something set up. Maybe a corner kick or something to that effect. Instead, right now it's Chandler and Klossner and Erdman. They're kind of controlling things for PIZM. Good kickoff by Carstensen, and now he gets the steal. Up to Darvo. He's got a man behind him, though. And what a pass to Anderson. They're onside, too. Anderson, oh, he shifted towards the defense instead of away. Darvo will battle it back. Ball gets popped up and will go out of bounds. That wicked side spin, just getting it out. Will be a throw-in for Casamareville. Boy, I thought Anderson should go towards the corner. Throw-in played by Rodriguez. Another header, this time by the Wildcats, and they are able to clear to the 25. Driving up ahead. And Tim Schultz playing on this near side. Defensive position. Gets the possession. Tries to get it out of there. Koenig was the one that touched it for Pine Island. Now we got a foul anyway on the Wildcats, and the Comets will take possession. Driving it hard, trying to flip the field. Maybe a little too hard by Hansen. It will be picked up by Peters. 14 minutes and 30 seconds with the clock continuing to roll here in the first half. Casamareville giving up the 1 goal. 1-0. Lead for the Wildcats. Comets trying to make it 2 in a row after their big-time win, 11-0 on Saturday. Oh, Rodriguez, there's Sam Anderson, though, with possession. Got Darvo with him. Rodriguez, pass over on the far side to Carstensen. Peters dives out, way out of the box to eliminate any threat by the Casamareville Comets. Far side of the field and coming on is Chandler. But another good steal for Casamareville. That's by Hansen. Played on the near side. Driving forward is Quintero. Osgard coming out of the box. He can't pick it up, though. And he'll have to hurry to get back to the goalie. Good stop by Ethan Smith to step up. Put one towards the net. Chandler, no shot on goal yet. Good defensive positioning by Goodman. And Casamareville will get a touch by Darvo. He'll take it from the 15 and just kick it out. But that's a smart play. It rolled to about the 35 and makes PIZM have to throw it in. 13 minutes left in the first half. Osgard, I thought, made the right play to come out of the box to try and pick up the ball, much like Peters did on Casamareville. It'll be a throw-in for Harney. Harney looking off to Smothers. Harney got it back. But now Darvo. Anderson. Nice pass. Great touch on that from Carstensen. Anderson trying to drive it forward for Rodriguez. Far side. Can it be saved by Hellier? Can. And then we have a bump foul on Petersley. So Casamareville trying to get on the board and control the ball a little bit. Chasing it down near the box. Good play by Tim Schultz. Tripping foul by Creer. And that's a live ball. Nobody was really playing it. Rodriguez floats one up and over the head, though, of Anderson. Now a defensive kick and be a 2-on-4 for the Wildcats. They're going to have to wait to get somebody back up. Hansen with a kick, and then we got a Wildcat way off the field and down. That's, I believe, Christofferson over on that far end. The official did not tell them it was okay to throw it in. Now they will. Rodriguez with a steal. And one of the Wildcats is asking for a substitution as they had the ball. It's a good play by Goodman. As Casamareville is able to clear yet again. Picking himself back up his career. And again, Castlemanville with Ethan Smith this time, making a good play. Come all the way down to that far end. And just rolling out before the flag. Now there'll be 5 substitutions for Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa. Anderson out for Castlemanville. I'm trying to see the other number. I think it was Nels Carstensen that subbed out as well. Baldo Salivar in. And jogging over to the corner for Castlemanville. I believe that was Hanson that had to throw in. And now they'll set up a corner kick as that one was out. So a corner kick coming for Castlemanville. Can they get something high and drive? Oh, pardon me, the camera had froze up. The corner kick, though, was a little low. All the way at the 45 and pushing ahead is Dan McKayo. That'll go all the way out of bounds, though. Be a setup for the Wildcats. Sorry about the camera freezing there. Got that all set up for you. We have a yellow card coming out on Aiden Shea. And Closner, no, pardon me, that's number 16, Mark Quintero, will be the one for PIZM at the 24-yard line is where he'll set up this free kick. Castlemanville had to run somebody in, though, to play for Smith. They do with Jacob Goins. Quintero to set up. Got the 1 goal already. Time had stopped at 9:03 on the yellow card. Kick comes in, curves to the left. Still to the left of Osgard. This one wide, but still in play towards the corner. Castlemanville still trying to get it out of there. Darvo had the touch. Scooting ahead is Scripture. Goins, they'll say it's out on him as he slid out of bounds. Throw in and stays with PIZM Wildcats. They lead 1-0. Osgard with the scoop after the low kick by Schmoll, as he already has the 1 goal for the Wildcats this evening. Played up on the near side by Ayers. Ayers with a pass, but then stolen away. Jacob Goodman has played really well on the defensive end as the Wildcats come back across with Christofferson. His pass is a little off. Salivar can't quite make the play, though. Wildcats still threatening right in the middle. Good defensive play yet again. That was Ethan Smith. He got it at least to the 45, the M of KM in the middle of the field. Good kick there for Brian Hansen. He's another name I've called quite a bit. This Castlemanville defense has stepped up. Not allowing the Wildcats to get something really easy. A pass on this near side. Ayers comes back to Harney, who's trying to go directly in the middle. Now a kick forward. Christofferson drives one, batted out of there by Osgard. It'll set up a corner kick for the Wildcats. Far end is where it'll be, just under 7 then. Wildcats trying to curve it back to the right. Osgard had popped out, and that was off the shoulder. And in for Pine Island, Zumbrota Mazeppa. Schmoll got the first one. That might have been Smothers, I think. But that ball was not off the head of anyone. That was definitely off the shoulder. Osgard tried to come out and play it quick. Oh, nope, it was Landon Chandler, number 11, who picks up the goal. And the Wildcats have it right back over as Osgard deflects, and then Easton Smith just blasts one completely near the concession stand. The ball will go get some popcorn. It'll be a corner kick coming for PIZM. That one right to Osgard. He actually hit it. It's still rolling around. Chandler was trying to play Christofferson. And now they rule it dead. Defensive kick coming for Casa Manorville with 5.5 left. First half. Oh, good header there for Goodman. Oh, just couldn't quite keep it in, though. Good battle. Sorry, you probably missed that. Trying to call the action as well as move the camera for you. Trying to do the best I can as a one-man show up here tonight. But we're happy you came along with us here on KM Activities. YouTube channel, home for the Comets. Casa Manorville, a lot going on with cross country and girls soccer already won today at St. Paul Academy, 2-1. Trying to get you some score on the volleyball match as well. I'm sure at KM Activities will be publishing that and tweeting it out. Peters going that far side. Hansen getting a body in front of it. Salivar can't quite catch up to it. Stepping up is Goodman. He got a touch on it, then passed to Petersley on that far side. But here come the Wildcats. PIZM on the run with Christofferson. Casa Manorville has 3 guys back, though. Another nice defensive play by Tim Schultz. Oh, and Rodriguez almost got that ball back for Casa Manorville. Darvaux kind of coming up, too. Pass goes from near end to the far side. Schultz again driving it to the trees. Under 4, 2-0. Casa Manorville trailing. Be a throw in for the Wildcats on that far end. PIZM with goals from Schmoll as well as Chandler tonight. And this Wildcat team had come in white hot. They lost the first 2 games to Dover Iota and La Crescent. And after that, they went on a 5-game winning streak. Set up a play over in the far end, but that thing shoots way left of the goalkeeper's area. Didn't even get close to the net there for Oscar to even make a play. Casa Manorville, defensive kick. Drive it back out towards around the 40. Rodriguez can't quite play it. Salivar getting there? No. 10-on-10 crime there. Rodriguez trying to position himself. Pass off to the middle. Ethan Smith trying to play, and we get a little trip. Right around the 50. The Wildcats set something up, and they don't waste any time. Schmoll put the ball down. And a good kick out by Goins. Rodriguez coming to it this near side, so is Darvaux. Darvaux tried to pass it off. It was deflected, but this goes out of bounds. Darvaux can throw it in nearly at the 2-minute mark. First half, 2-0. Score, PIZM leading Casa Manorville It's a Hiawatha Valley match here at KM Telecom Stadium. I'm Joel McCall, play-by-play man and cameraman tonight. Pulling the double duty. Getting in front of it, far end is Hansen. Hansen right around the 35. Trying to change a direction and get that ball towards the middle. Smith will do that. Salivar, far end. Can Scripture get over there? No, it's out of bounds and a throw in for PIZM. 2-0. We'll probably take a little longer break before we come back to action in the second half. I'll need a little bit of a breather for my vocal cords, and we definitely need to thank our fine sponsors. KM Telecom, our main sponsor for fall activities. Got them, McKern Financial, as well as the KM Schools. This setting up for a corner kick then for Wildcats. Don't want to give up something now. You got a minute left, already down 2-0. And this sets up for the Wildcats. Kicking it in is Makeo. High. Ooh, the header goes out of bounds on the far end, though, so it'll be a throw-in for Casamarieville. Can they foot the field? That would be spectacular if they can, with less than a minute left now. And a blaster by Hansen. It will go out of bounds, though. That does foot the field. They're on the 30 of the other side, as Rodriguez trying to get in front of that ball. So is Salivar. Ethan Smith kind of coming up and playing defensive position around the 40. And Casamarieville trying to feed it off towards the middle. Salivar is there. Rodriguez. Darvaux was on the move on this near side and instead brought back out. Huge kick again by Hansen with only 15 seconds left. It's Peters to play inside of his box, who picks it up. High floating kick, and coming into play was Goins. Salivar tried to put a kick on and can't, and that's going to be the end of the first half. 2-0 the score. Casamarieville had some chances early on in that first half, too. Thought the offense had kind of a spark coming out after their 11-0 win over Cotter last week. But unfortunately here, they trail 2-0. As about midway through the first half, then it was PIZM that kind of got some of that momentum back. And unfortunately, the Comets couldn't quite flip it back their way. Well, we'll take a break, come back. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so, and we'll talk a little bit about the Hiawatha Valley Conference, get you the standings on the boys' side. We'll try to look for a little bit of a scores for the girls as well. The 2-1 victory for the girls' soccer, but I'm talking volleyball, of course. So we'll try to find out the score for the Casamarieville Comets going up against Byron for high school volleyball at home Federal Arena. Here at KM Telecom Stadium, the Casamarieville Comets trail the Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa Wildcats 2-0 here on KM Activities, your home for the Comets.
This Casson-Mantorville sports broadcast is brought to you in part by McKern Financial in Casson and the Casson-Mantorville School District. We thank these proud sponsors for bringing you all the fall sports action right here on KM Activities YouTube channel. McKern Financial and the KM Schools cheer on the Comets and wish them a successful fall season.
Is your internet speed meeting your family needs? Times have really changed. Most families are running smart TVs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, often all at one time. With so many devices in constant use at home, maybe it's time to switch to high-speed internet from KM Telecom. Right now, you can sign up by September 30th and get your installation and first month absolutely free. Free installation and first month free. Call KM Telecom today for more information. 634-2511. 634-2511.
This Casson Manterville sports broadcast is brought to you in part by McKern Financial in Casson and the Casson Manterville School District. We thank these proud sponsors for bringing you all the fall sports action right here on KM Activities YouTube channel. McKern Financial and the KM Schools cheer on the Comets and wish them a successful fall season.
Is your internet speed meeting your family needs? Times have really changed. Most families are running smart TVs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, often all at one time. With so many devices in constant use at home, maybe it's time to switch to high-speed internet from KM Telecom. Right now, you can sign up by September 30th and get your installation and first month absolutely free. Free installation and first month free. Call KM Telecom today for more information. 634-2511. 634-2511.
Casamareville Comets trailing PIZM Wildcats 2-0 in high school boys soccer tonight here on KM Activities. Can't find any volleyball score for you. I do know it was Teacher Appreciation Night with the Comet volleyball team. Girls soccer getting a very nice win up at St. Paul today, 2-1, and congratulations to Casamareville Comet runners today for cross country. They ran up at Lake City, and they did a great job. As I thought they were running at Eastwood. I thought it was the Mayo cross country run, but either way, Isaac Trinan tonight winning the boys overall for Casamanterville. And then I didn't have a team score or any other ones. I just see what's been tweeted out. And Tiana Webke, who was our interview last week for one of our player interviews, she ends up being 6th for the Casamareville Comet girls. So a nice job by the Casamareville cross country team on their runs today. With that first place finish for Isaac Trinan, and Tiana Webke finishing 6th, getting into that top 10 for the second time now too, because I know she was top 10 the first meet of the season over in Wisconsin. And I think Isaac was 12th, if I recall, from that first match, or their first run up in Wisconsin for the boys' side. So Casamanterville starting to get into mid-season form. Boys need to do that here tonight. Got to bounce back after a 2-0 deficit in that first half. Schmoll was Isaac Schmoll and then Landon Chandler, the two scorers. I did think Casamareville was playing a much better match that first part of the first half. They really came out and held the ball well. we're controlling things. We're getting some really nice passing and defensive work. I mean, the pressure's been put on by the Wildcats to that Comet defense, and they had stepped up, and they have stepped up. I shouldn't say had. They have stepped up and have played a much better first half. They've gotten into several balls. I mean, there was a couple where PIZM had it right in front of the net, and Osgard was there making plays. We've called Hansen's name numerous times tonight, as I thought he's played really good defensive work. Ethan Smith substituted in, and I thought he played well. Jacob Goodman, we've talked about him too. So, and Tim Schultz, those kind of that back end of the Casa Manorville Comets. They just haven't had a lot of opportunities on the offensive side. Early on in the match, they were definitely getting offensive possession. They just weren't getting shots on goal. They had a couple early, and then they had about one corner kick within 15 minutes left of that first half. Got to be a little bit more aggressive offensively. And Rodriguez, for his credit, has run all over KM Telecom Stadium and on this turf tonight to try and provide something for the Casa Manorville Comets. Win those long kicks from, say, Hansen or Schultz, Schultz was coming their way. So I think there was chances for Casa Manorville. Now they've got to hope to flip that field a little bit, keep the ball and pressure on Corey Peters and the rest of that defense for the Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa Wildcats. Casa Manorville 1-6-1 overall. They're 0-3 in the conference. Conference standings right now: Byron, this Wildcat team, PIZM, and then Rochester Luard, all sitting at undefeated in the conference. Stewartville at 1-1, and then you got Lake City sitting there at 1-2, and then Cannon Falls, Casa Manorville, and Triton KW, all searching for their first conference win of the season. There is other Hiawatha Valley games happening tonight too. Cannon Falls has traveled to Rochester to take on Luard. Lake City welcomes Stewartville, and Triton Kenyon Wanamingo hop the bus and drop down to Byron. So those are the other matches happening for the Hiawatha Valley Conference. Standings so far, your rankings then: Class 1A, Blake, Academy of Holy Angels, Totino Grace, Breck, and De La Salle are the top 5. Waconia, Orono, and then St. Thomas Academy, Bemidji, who's sparked up into the top 10. They were not there the last time I looked. And then St. Paul Como Park rounds out the top 10 in Class 1A. We're about set to start the second half then. Casa Manorville trailing 2-0 here on KM Activities. More stuff coming tomorrow. We'll have 2 player interviews. We have not talked to a boys soccer player, so that's the plan for tomorrow, is to talk to one of the Comet boys soccer players. And we'll also have a football interview. I'm not 100% sure on who we're talking to on that either. I'll be contacting Coach Swanson. Those will be up probably between 3 and 4 tomorrow. Tomorrow. So we'll have those player interviews. And then Thursday night, the Casa Manorville Comet girls soccer team goes up to Pine Island, and they will face this Wildcat team. Not this one, of course, on the field tonight, but the girls Wildcat team. We're not going to have that one live for you, but I will be tweeting it out and following the scores. I do plan on attending that match coming up on Thursday. Then Friday we'll go to Winona for a high school football Friday night. And offside going to be called on Dan McKayo. McKayo a little early as we played a minute then. Starters again for Casa Manorville: Brian Hansen, Jacob Goodman, Victor Rodriguez, Zachary Alexander, Ryan Darveau, Valdo Salivar, David Perdomo, Mason Script, and Tim Schultz. Those are your starters for the team in all blue tonight with their white lettering. I do see Jacob Goins in so far, so some substitutions Or is he on the sideline? No, he's playing right now. He just didn't have the throw in. Salivar had a touch off the throw in. Casa Manorville trying to keep it, as Petersley is also sub, and he's playing. Salivar got his hand up, disgruntled at himself for the hand touch. In net, Oscard for Casa Manorville. As PIZM attempts to get it in there offside, and a bad pass. But then Oscard there with the swoop. And he'll try to drive one. Wind at his face now. Didn't quite get as much on it as he wanted to. Good pass by Salivar. Over to Scripture. I'll get to see a few other players on this near side. Got to call Scripture several times. Darvo on that far end trying to get there. Can't. Be a throw in though for Casa Manorville. Charging in hard was Goodman. But instead, PIZM comes out with, after that, Ethan Smith just had it go past his toe to the 45, and now it'll be a foot race. On the far end, Christofferson, one-on-one with Oscard. Oscard waiting, and it goes wide. Oscard stayed right at the pole, far end, and then watched it roll out. That was not touched either. And so it'll be a defensive kick coming up for Brian Hansen. Corey Peters is the goaltender for Pine Island. Zumbrota Mazeppa. He's a sophomore. So is Oscard for Casa Manorville. So you got some young goaltenders in there. The rest of the starters for the Wildcats. Brant Koenig, Logan Harney, Zachary Eady, then Daniel Creer, Jack Smothers, Cole Ayers, Isaac Schmoll, Joshua Hutton, Mark Quintero, and Edison Toft. Soren Hellier also plays. Those are the starters then for the Wildcats. Now that's not to say they didn't make some changes, just like Casa Manorville did, bringing in Goins, who did not start in the first half for KM. He plays over in the far end. Darvo off to Salivar. Salivar trying to give it and go down the far side. This will be out of bounds and a throw in. Jacob Goodman, far end, number 5. And we have a substitution now. Goins is out. And Aiden Shea, who got the yellow card in the first half, is returning. That's probably why he didn't play right away. Goodman off the far end, trying to get it into the box. Blasted out, sideline, off of PIZM. Casa Manorville with a throw-in. Ball went up, though, and now still being battled on some high lifts. Darvo comes back in. Salivar. Oh, Salivar trying to take a shot. And then the ball went underneath of his foot. He fell down. Coming on this near side, Chandler. Lost the possession. Easton Smith. That was a really nice pass. Got it right up and over Chandler's foot. Fed off to Petersley on this near side. They call a foul on the Wildcats. We've played 5 minutes. Started with 40. Here in the, I'll let you do the math. That's not what I'm here for. 0-2 then is the score. 2-0. Casa Manorville trailing. Pine Island, Zumbrota Mazeppa. PIZM, as we'll call him for most of the duration of the second half. And they try to get Christofferson over in the far end, and Oscard comes all the way out of the box and picks it up. Good play by him. Oscard had that goal kick go a little high on him. Far side, Koenig. As we said, there's many ties to this team, and the head coach, Sean Brummelkamp, for Casa Manorville, he talked about it during the warm-up that the Comet head coach played for Pine Island, coached this this squad as well. as Mateo comes all the way in, gets a shot on goal. But then Oscar with the stop. Schmoll comes in at the 25 and just waylaid on one that went all the way up in the bleachers. Brommelkamp also was one of the groomsmen for Isaac Tashawn, the assistant coach for PIZM. So, I mean, these two teams definitely, these coaching staffs really know each other. And being in the same conference, they see each other every year. Pine Island has won the last couple. I went back to 2015. The Comets had their best outing, as I mentioned, 11-0 on Saturday. And the PIZM Wildcats have won 5 in a row entering tonight. Panthers won last year against Casamareville 4-2, 2-0 in 2017, and a 1-0 ball game in 2016. So they've had some very close, tight matches. This is no different at 2-0. Things can change on a dime with 32 minutes left, second half. No substitutions, just waiting on the throw-in. Salivar trying to kick it towards the middle, and does. Now Rodriguez, can he get there off of the play? Not a great pass by PIZM either, but that was a nice save on the sideline and up to Toft. And that might have rolled out of bounds. I think it did. Petersley thought about the throw-in instead. It's off to Hansen. Hansen with the throw-in. Rolled off the head of Scripture. Nice to see some of those other kids, you know, they foot the field, go the other way, and then they change their spot too. Darvaux on the far side. He was begging for the ball. Then it was blocked by the defensive play of Harney. Casamareville trying to get a couple shots on goal and tie this one back up. Trailing 2-0. Up ahead. Makeo and Oscar makes the play yet again. Not allowing Dan Makeo to... Oh, Oscar had that one roll off of him. Smith, though, good play by him to get it up farther. Smith trying to put it towards the sideline, and will. Throw in coming. Be played here by Edie. Edie to the corner. No flag on that, no. It looks like we're going to have a substitution, though. No foul called. There was some contact between Hansen and number 19, Edison Toft. But they allow that to go out of bounds, and it'll be a defensive kick coming near side of the goalie box. Under 30 to play here in the second half. 2-0, Comets trailing. A little twist and turn for PIZM. Scripture there for the steal. Smith drives one towards the goal then, and Peters is there. About 40 yards out, and you know, that would be like 50 yards then. That goal is all the way in the back end of the end zone. So you add another 10 yards. Talking 120 yards all the way across then. Throw in Darvaux over on the steal for Casamareville. They cannot quite secure it. Petersley wanted to get in front, couldn't. Oscar going to have to play a wicked spin and does. For Casa Manorville. Gets a much better goalie kick, too. Bumped on the run by Ayers. And falling down on that pass was Creer. Far end, can Darvaux flip the field? Can Casa Manorville set up their offense? Oh, to the corner, but too hard off of Goodman. Try to go back to Darvaux. There's a couple of substitutions for PIZM coming in. Played 12 minutes in the second half. Not much as far as shots on goal for either team in those first 12 minutes. PIZM Wildcats leading 2-0. Defensive kick coming. Come on that far end. It'll just go right out of bounds. Nobody touched it. Aiden Shea, far end, will be the man to throw it in for Casa Manorville. Right near the 50. A little battling. And the Wildcats come out with it. They push towards the middle. And Osgard with a stop. Nice play by him on an attempt by Cryer. Daniel Creer was the man that had that shot. It's one of the guys, actually, that Coach Brommelkamp mentioned to me as one of their best players. And he said we were going to pinpoint him immediately. Darvaux trying to turn and pass that one out for Casa Manorville. Can't quite do it. Ball sitting around the 30-yard line and being passed around by 3 or 4. Salivar comes out with it for Casa Manorville. He's at the 35, trying to push ahead. The pass just a little too far for Petersley. Smith stood his ground and then trip up. Smothers gets tripped. Kind of a crosswind tonight. It will be in Osgard's face, but not quite directly. It's more like a southeast wind. High floating kick, trying to drive toward the offensive end. Osgard picks it up. Kicks it back to the 40. Hammered back by the Wildcats. Casa Manorville trying to get it past the 50. Look for Darvaux on the far end at the 50, but pass was not quite there. Now Rodriguez. Oh, Rodriguez had that ball just bounce above his right foot. And Osgard, that thing off the crossbar. I'll be out and a throw in for PIZM. 25 minutes left, second half, 2-0. That was quite the shot. Osgard was backing up, ran out of real estate. And Smith comes in and might have just hit a car out in the parking lot behind the press box. He's trying to clear it out. Rodriguez, Darvaux, far side. Now tracking it down, Aiden Shea. PIZM going to the middle. And that one was blocked by Hansen right in front of Osgard. So the Wildcats have put some pressure on Casa Manorville in this second half. Have not seen a goal yet either. And Osgard scoops up another one. Played around the 50-yard line, right in the middle, too. Rodriguez with a touch to the PIZM 35. It's still bouncing around. Good fight there by Casa Manorville's number 12, Mason Scripture. He's still over in that far corner. Smith, can Darvaux play it? Looking middle. Rodriguez. Come to this near side right in front of me at the 45. Pass Petersley. And a great defensive play there by Hanson to get that ball away from the ever dangerous Creer. This ball's going to go out. That'll be a throw in for Cassett Manorville. A couple substitutions for KM as well. Sam Anderson coming in, as well as Schultz. Number 17, Tim Schultz. Well, now Nils Carstensen is the one I see coming on. He'll play some offense for Cassett Manorville. Ooh, and that pass, I thought for sure that went out of bounds. Instead, it's Creer again. And Creer tripped up on that by Hanson. That'll stop momentum for a moment. Oh, ball bounced over the head of everyone into the offensive zone. Now played out. Fresh legs in there for Tim Schultz. Out of bounds and a throw in right around the 40. Far end. Cassett Manorville side. This throw in, though, just goes completely out of bounds on the end, through the end zone. Cassett Manorville trying to get 2 in a row. They need 2 in a row for goals to tie this one up. One on Saturday, 11-0 over Cotter. It was an offensive showcase, really. They did everything right. And Creer had that go out of bounds. And it should be a corner kick coming for PIZM. He might be the one to drive it in. He is. He'll lay it down, far end, right by the end zone line. Flag blowing towards the goal. Kick on the way. Header goes up and all the way into the stands behind Osgard. Some younger fans out there tracking those down. 21 minutes left, second half. 2-0, the score. And the Wildcats of Pine Islands and Rota Mazeppa leading Cassett Manorville. The Comets can just not get anything going offensively. But to their credit, their defense has played fantastic throughout much of the night. And it was the set play that helped the Wildcats get their first goal. They're going to have a massive substitution as 5 kids coming in all at once. Second goal for the Wildcats in the night was the corner kick, and off of basically the side. It was not a header. Thing went off the shoulder of Chandler and went in. Salivar trying to pass it up on the near side. Stolen away by the Wildcats. They'll get one of their defensive players, number 14, Hutton, to blast that towards the middle of the field. 19 minutes and 30 seconds left. Second half. Cassett Manorville trying to get a conference win, pull off a little upset over a 5-2 Wildcat squad. Haven't seen much of Perdomo in this second half. Good hit by Hanson. Hanson up ahead, but then Anderson could not come to play it before Peters ends up picking it off. Oh, that ball went over the head of Smith. Makeo is there. Christofferson going to the far end. There will be another corner kick coming for PIZM. McHale will be the one to set this one up. Far end, complete other opposite of where the last one was for Creer. This one curving away from Osgard, still on the ground though. No fouls called. There was one Wildcat that fell down in all that ruckus. Another corner kick coming for PIZM. Casa Manorville trying to get this thing out of there. 18 minutes left, second half. 2-0 the lead for the Wildcats. They try to add to it. Corner kick. And I think we'll have contact on Osgard. And that'll allow Casa Manorville to get a defensive kick. And maybe try to flip the field. Played up by Casa Manorville then on a header. Ball being batted around though. And the Wildcats do get one on goal there with number 13 Schmoll, who's already scored so far. Osgard trying to get it to the 50, does. And it was Sam Anderson that played for a moment. And this kick will be too hard by Scripture. Peters, really got to watch when he's kicking too, because that wind is aiding him. And that'll be off of the head of Shea over on the far end. And another throw-in. PIZM waiting no time whatsoever. Try and get one back in the middle. High shot and goal. Off the top just like that. They flip the field and Schmoll gets another goal. So Isaac Schmoll will get the third goal of the night. That's why I said the kicks by Peters really set that up for the Wildcats, because with the wind helping him going that far side as Makeo steals. Christofferson shooting another one. Osgard gets a hand up, knocks it away above the crossbar. Wildcats putting on a ton of pressure with 16 minutes left, second half. Now 3-0. Comets just have not been able to put the ball into the Wildcat side. And a header goes out by Christofferson. Defensive kick coming for Casa Manorville. Comets will play, actually they have a full week off, what I have, and they'll play Schaefer Academy next Monday, right back here at this same facility, and we'll bring you that one here on the KM Activities YouTube channel. We'll have 3 this week. We had volleyball last night, and again, if you're wondering where that is on the YouTube channel, I cannot tell you. I had everything lined up correctly as I shut things down last night, but that match that I saw was up last night is no longer there for some reason. I don't know if it was deleted by accident or if we just had a little malfunction with YouTube, but it is not there anymore. But the Comets played exceptionally well last night for high school volleyball. Battled back after kind of a slow start. Got a nice win up in Bloomington. Trying to see if there's any update on the Byron match. Throw in nearly in the corner for Casa Manorville. And now will be a corner kick coming for the Comets as Darvaux help fix that one. Looks like they took the first one 25-23 for the Comets. So got the first set. And Corey Peters plays the corner kick. And yet again, after the Comets had it on the offensive end, Makeo shot, Osgard stopped there. Casamareville pushing ahead though. Anderson on that far end, as well as Scripture towards the middle to play as Carsonson. Ball got loose. Salivar keeps it alive. Darvaux's over in the far corner. He wanted the ball. He's going to get it. No, it'll be a throw-in still for Casamareville. So it looks like the Comets beat Byron the first set, 25-23. I'll keep an eye on Twitter and let you know how things go on that. But I only have 13 minutes left unless the Comets can find a way to score 3 times within that 12 minutes and 45 seconds. Throwing it in, Hansen. Played up in this near side. Defensively for the Wildcats, it's Hellier. Out of bounds, though. Thrown in by Carsonson. He went quickly to Scripture. Be another throw in deeper in the corner for the Casamareville Comets. Trying to stay aggressive with 12 minutes left. Second half. That momentum on this field, though, had swung towards the Wildcats so quickly after that corner kick. This is out of bounds. Just a one-on-one play there for Creer. And now a corner kick coming for Casamareville. So they've put some pressure on PIZM late stages of the second half. Even if they can't, even if they don't get the win, maybe a header by Anderson actually went sideways off of the corner kick. I was going to say, even just getting a goal late in this match would give them something to, a little bit of momentum heading into next week as they have the week off. They'll have a busier week next week. Schaefer Academy match on the 23rd at Stewartville at Mankato West. They host Byron on October 1st. And then they're at Triton Kenyon Wanamingo on the 3rd of October. And then that's it. That's their entire season right there. So you talk about getting right into sections then after October 3rd. Only 5 matches left. 10.5 to go. Second half, 3-0. Comets trailing. Pine Island, Zamrota, Mazeppa. Wildcats had 2 in the first half, got a third one, on just a really nice kick by Schmoll. Not a whole lot that Osgard could do on that. He's been tested a few times tonight and has made some spectacular saves. Casamareville cleaning it up. On the run here at the 30. Trying to turn it up with Scripture. And be tipped out of bounds off of Carsonson. There were Wildcats trying to go to the corner. Oscar might get tested again. Floating around, Christofferson stopped by Osgard on the ground. Osgard will pick it up. Oscar with a really nice kick over to Darvaux. Darvaux actually had that go off the heel. Darvaux coming up, though, to help out on the defensive side. It'll roll out of bounds. Erdman on that far end looked like he might be the one to throw it. Trying to throw to the corner, and it'll roll completely out of bounds on the end line. Victor Rodriguez, the sub in for Casa Manorville at the 9-minute mark. Second half, 3-0. So player interviews coming up tomorrow. As I said, boys soccer will be featured as well as football, so really both football. The England style football as well as the American is the plan for tomorrow. Next week will be volleyball and football. Kind of rotating around, trying to talk to everybody and try and get Coach Pittman on sometime this week as well on a video interview. We haven't had him on yet. Might be doing that tomorrow too. As I wasn't planning on coming back over on Thursday. And girls soccer, tried to talk to Soderberg possibly Thursday night after the match against Pine Island. Bring my recorder and talk to him about the season so far. Run that at halftime of the football game on Friday night. By the way, if you're looking for something to do coming up in early November, and I think the second week of November as well, there is the musical, Shrek the Musical. Tickets have gone on sale for that. And what I think I read today was 482 tickets have been sold so far. There is a meal that you could buy, so you could have kind of a dinner and a musical at night. Make it a date night for you and your significant other. That'd be pretty sweet. It's kind of what I'm talking about with my wife, Dana. And so that'll be played a couple weeks in a row. KM Activities on Twitter was the one that I saw the link to, and then I saw today that they had reposted that they're the ones that reposted that, like 400 and some tickets. They do go fast. As Casa Manorville still fighting, 3-0, 6.5 remaining. As we get a quick spot here, they call a foul on Casa Manorville. Kick coming. And PIZM on the run again. Christofferson picked up by Oscar, though. A 3-0 lead for the Wildcats. Casa Manorville still trying to get some offense going. So, yeah, if you want your tickets to Shrek the Musical, you better get them quickly. And I was reminded on Twitter that I don't want to forget and there's a soft goal to the left of Osgard. And that's Christofferson with the goal. But yeah, I don't want to leave out Zumbrota Mazeppa. I did that on Twitter, and Jessica from the athletic department made sure I heard about it. You're right. I don't want to forget it's the full PIZM. She said it's Coach Brommelkamp's alma mater, so I definitely don't want to mess that up. We have a handball by PIZM. 5 minutes left, 4-0. Castlemanville, the shot. Sam Anderson, oh, just wide of the net. Good pass by Salivar. And Anderson just off the mark. He's got a big old smile on his face. Wish he wanted that one back, I'm sure. As we have a foul on the, there's a bump there off of, actually I think that, well, she pointed that Creer had the foul, but it's not Creer. It was Carsonson. So Castlemanville trailing 4-0, 4 minutes left. Would be 6 in a row now for PIZM heading into their second half of the season. And this would remain as a hard shot. Nothing Osgard could do on that. Turning and whipping one towards the net. Number 9, Jack Smothers. So Smothers with the goal. The score is going to look a little worse than actually the game, though. Honestly, these are several goals late in the ball game for PIZM, as this was just 2-0 about 12 minutes ago. So some late goals for the Wildcats. Going to make it a little worse for Ware for the Castlemanville Comets, but I would not look at the overall score. I still go back to those first, 15, 20 minutes of the ball game where Castlemanville did hold possession in the offense. They were getting a couple of shots near Peters. And you got to look at that type of film as opposed to, a couple of those shots. Osgard, he's a sophomore. He can kind of, learn from what he saw in front of him, especially when it was one-on-one chances. Salivar bringing it down. Oh, blocked up. Couldn't quite get it over there for Darvo. Good defensive work by Alexander. We called his name a lot tonight. Salivar looking, and he'll chip one forward, but it'll be too far, and Peters will be able to just snatch it right out of the air. And a good steal. Rodriguez on the run. Can he get there in time? Peters slides down in front of him before Rodriguez even has a chance. The 2-minute mark of the second half, 5-0. As PIZM leading and charging down, maybe looking for one more. Defensive kick by Hansen. Towards the middle, and Osgard sliding down on the play. Creer actually jumped over him. Osgard makes the play. Castlemanville continuing to fight, and I like that spirit of the Comets. Oh, and there's a trip and fall off of Goins. Puts it back to PIZM. Pine Island, Zumbrota, Mazeppa, they're going to get the win. There's a minute left in the match. 5-0. We'll see if they put one more, or at least try. They do shoot one towards the net off of the setup play. Now they're offside, and that'll be it. Clear that out defensively. So Castlemanville will fall to 1-7-1 on the season. Like I said, though, I still like the fight in the team in blue. They're on the run right now on the far side with Darvo. They never quit tonight, and Anderson had a great opportunity on the side of the net, just went wide on him. Castlemanville still trying to get at least a shot on goal. It did rotate around with only 10 seconds left. Two guys fall down. Goins comes out with it. He tries to kick forward, Ball gets floated in the air, and that'll be it. So Casa Manorville will fall tonight 5-0. They'll go to 1-6-1 on the season. Or I'm sorry, 1-7-1 on the season. They'll be 0-3 in conference play. And Pine Island, Zumbrota, Mazeppa, 6-2. They're 3-0 in conference. Get the victory tonight. And that'll be their 6th in a row, actually, after losing their first 2 games of the season to Dover Yoda and La Crescent. For Casa Manorville, again, they will host Schaefer Academy coming up on Monday, and we will have that for you right here on KM Activities. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Casa Manorville falls 5-0 to Pine Island, Zumbrota, Mazeppa. Here on KM Activities, your home for the Comets. I'm Joel McCall bidding you good night from KM Telecom Stadium.